even now, whenever I walk in a restaurant or somewhere in let's say Delhi or Bombay, वो South का actor है. They say that at the airports, CISF guys. I keep hearing that.
From day one, when they say start camera, I look at him as an actor, and when they say cut, he's back to being dad. So I'm able to draw that line now. But to have this legacy, and I wanted to become an actor, and fortunately for me, there's already this huge base that's been created for me, and this fan following and this love that's already there. So I feel it's my responsibility to live up to it.
Maybe when I saw myself in the first film and to the result it got, I realized there was no equating this. How bad I was, but the result was so good. That's when
You felt you were bad in your first film.
Yeah, that's when I realized this is what the legacy was working there. Somewhere halfway through the film, we knew it was Dad's father's last film. Because halfway through, he was diagnosed with cancer. And we knew, because we knew the doctors had told us it's just months away. And the tremendous pressure we had, not to complete the film, to gift him the last film as a super duper film.
I'm not saying I've still found myself completely, but before that I was doing films influenced by a lot of factors around me. Some people said do films for bigger collections. Some people said do films, massier characters, or some people said do films with fights, dances, whatever.
There was a point of time, there was a huge divide between regional films and Hindi films. Today, when you go to Wikipedia, all actors are segregated under one field, Indian film actors, and that's where we have evolved. And I have two gentlemen joining me for a conversation on Bollywood Bubble tonight. Actually, one person who I've grown up watching in Hindi films, मैंने इतने South films नहीं देखे हैं, and one person who I'm meeting for the first time, but I've heard so much about you that I feel I already know you a lot. So, Nagarjuna sir and Naga Chaitanya joined me for a conversation only on Bollywood Bubble. Thank you, both of you.
Hi.
I've been told to say that I shouldn't be calling you Garu because
Yes, please. No.
I've been informed previously that please don't call him because he gets a little awkward when. But I didn't know what Garu means. I used to feel it's sir.
It is in a way.
Yeah, but you call.
G, it's like G.
Yeah,
Yeah,
G.
exactly.
It's actually like G.
Yeah, but is it true? On Wikipedia, they're listing it out
Yes,
like
sir.
that. Wow.
That's what I was going to start off with, because today you don't say like he's a South Indian actor. If you go and see whether anybody, it says Indian film actor who has primarily worked in Telugu films or Tamil films or Hindi films, which is a huge evolution, right?
But the media is still saying South actor, not actor.
Exactly.
They say that when I read it.
You have lived those times, sir, where there was a huge divide, and you've done Hindi films also. How many times were you told that? And how many times have you seen people being referred or segregated like that?
All the time. All the time.
Even now?
What happens in the South? What happens in the South? The same thing happens in the South. Yeah. Even now, I whenever I walk in a restaurant or somewhere in let's say Delhi or Bombay, वो South का actor है. They say that at the airports, CISF guys. I keep hearing that.
But did it ever bother you?
No, not really. I'm very proud.
Yeah, that is true. I always say this, I'm going to come to you, but I always say this, that I've met few actors from here, and there is an amazing quality, there's an amazing mix of sensitivity, sensibility and humility, which of course we don't see otherwise. So that is a great thing, because if that is what you're proud of, I'm happy that you're proud of it, because you need to own it. Have you heard any of that sort?
Yeah, of course. South Indian actor, South actor, we hear it all the time. And like Dad said, very happy about it, our roots are here. But at the same time, it's nice that, this whole South Indian, North Indian films, that whole divide is sort of getting diluted. I think it's always been the case. It's
absolutely.
Our emotion is the same. So we're all human beings and we all connect to the same emotion. So it's good that films are also seen that way now. I think technology is sort of removing
Changed,
that
yeah,
barrier.
that barrier, yeah.
It's a smaller
making us all
world, a smaller place.
When I watched the teaser of this film, I actually got to know that there was another film before this,
Yeah.
and I went and watched that film.
Oh.
And I loved it. I enjoyed it. Of course, you had dual roles in
Yes,
that film
yes,
as well. You know, when you make a film to such a popular film already, is there pressure or does it make you happy because okay, there's an audience already for it? You know, and I love the teaser of it. It's so much fun, something that we need in times like this. So does that add pressure?
Yeah.
Or?
See, there is pressure. There is some sense of safety.
Yeah.
Because the first one was a very different experimental film. You know, you have a
Yeah.
snake, you have a temple, you have diamonds.
Yeah.
the whole thing, and
And a lovely ghost.
And a lovely ghost.
Yeah.
Casper the friendly ghost is
Yeah.
there coming, and all these things are very, very new elements. For this film, we didn't have to think about whether they're going to accept it or not.
True.
All these elements, you know, the ghost going into another person, all that has been accepted. Now is to make the script and the screenplay more interesting than that was the challenge.
He's playing your grandfather in the film,
Yes.
if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you that do you feel any pressure? Because you're working with your father. So sometimes it happens like, okay, you have to behave a certain way, or do you behave the way you want to be, even in front of him as an actor?
We did a film called Manam.
Yes, I know.
There I played his grandfather.
I know.
So when we were shooting for that film, yeah, it was there. That inhibition was still there. You know, it took me some time to let go of it. But having worked over there already together, while doing Bangarraju, you know, I sort of was at ease, you know, because we already warmed up on that film, and I've also grown a little bit as an actor through the years. So this time, from day one, when they say start camera, I look at him as an actor, and when they say cut, he's back to being dad. So I'm able to draw that line now.
But is there ever a moment where you feel like you have to live up to the legacies? Because you also belong to a legacy. You have to live up to your father's name.
Yeah.
And you also have to live up to your father and grandfather's name.
Right.
Do you somewhere feel that need? And how do you not have that sense of entitlement? A lot of people who work with you, who know you, have told me that honestly, I didn't know. I've not met you, but everybody who I've met and spoken about Chay, they said that Chay is the nicest human being from this industry. So how do you not have that sense of entitlement?
See, to answer your first question, do I have to live up to that? I feel I'm gifted. You know, I'm very fortunate to be to have this legacy, and I wanted to become an actor. And fortunately for me, there's already this huge base that's been created for me, and this fan following and this love that's already there. So I feel it's my responsibility to live up to it, and it's a challenge more than a fear or anything. I don't look at it in any other way. It's just a challenge, and I'll feel proud, if I'm able to at least reach half of it one day. And the second question you were talking
that you
about,
don't have a sense of entitlement at all.
I just like being this way. It's not on purpose or design or anything. I think I'm just happy this way.
But sir, when you debuted, you also had to live up to your father's name.
Absolutely, yeah.
Did you feel, because when you feel like, okay, I'm taking on a legacy which has been loved and revered for so many years, decades, there is always an added amount of pressure. कुछ तो अपने दिमाग में भी चलता होगा ना कि अच्छा, I have to do this for them. What did you feel? Do you remember? How do you reminisce those days?
I didn't think much. I didn't think so deep. As things moved on, then I started realizing it.
Yeah.
Maybe when I saw myself in the first film and to the result it got, I realized there was no equating this. How bad I was, but the result was so good. That's when
You felt you were bad in your first film.
Yeah, that's when I realized this is what the legacy was working there. I'm talking about 35, 36 years ago.
Yeah.
That's when I realized how strong the legacy was, the force was behind all of this. And that's when it shook me up.
Yeah. Like I told you that I watched your interview with Sir Bharadwaj as well. you came across as a very real, honest person where you opened up to the idea and you said that there are films that I did where when I look back at them, I feel like maybe whatever I thought it would turn out to be, it was not that. I didn't give it my best.
Right.
How do you guys become so critical and objective about your own performance? Like you said that you didn't like what you did in your first film. Did you like what you did in your first film?
No, I look back at all my films and there are things I like and a lot of things I don't like. I think it's important to be aware as an actor, you know, to know what you did right and what you did wrong. I think that's the only way we learn, and that's the only way we grow. And not only as an actor, I think as human beings, that's the basic ethos. Just keep looking back and learning from it and appreciating yourself and criticizing yourself. I think it's equally important.
This film is about family and family values.
Yeah.
So when you did, both of you did Manam, you of course had your grandfather and you had your father in it, and it was his last film.
Yeah.
It is also such a fun film, like fun as in an emotional way.
Yeah.
So it's a lovely film. When you work with your family, is there a different side that comes out of yours, or are you the same as an actor when you're on the set with your family members?
See, when I work, both the films I was the producer. In that film I was the producer, I was behind constantly. My only thought process was to project my father and him there.
Yeah.
You know, and here also my only thought process is that as a producer needs to do that.
True.
You know, his actors are his stars. Unless you believe that, they cannot make a film.
True.
Producer or a director.
Absolutely.
They need to
That is
believe in their actors and their stars. And so I actually became a producer more than an actor. I didn't much.
On that film and this one.
This also. I more of started looking at those things. How to project this, how to project this, and how to project them out there into the audience.
That's true.
That's how I looked at it.
What about you, Chay?
Well, of course, when we were doing Manam, it was a challenge for me, I'll be honest, because grown up behaving a certain way around dad, around granddad, and the role there was quite a complex role.
Yeah,
you know?
it was you playing.
Yeah, the reverse.
Yeah.
And I have to say some dialogues, some lines to them which are completely out of the ordinary. In fact, even scream at granddad. Yeah, scream at granddad.
They both
Tell him he's an idiot, he's a drunkard, and all these things. And I'm like, are you serious? So, in fact, the first few takes, I fumbled and granddad could clearly see that I was holding back. So he called me aside. He said, just let go, feel free. I still remember that moment. So Manam was a challenge. But now it's, like I said, I've come to a comfort zone with them, working with them, sharing that work atmosphere with them. But yeah, dad being a producer, of course, we're working in a creative field. There's no right, there's no wrong. Creatively, we're all right and we're all wrong. They're opinions. So somewhere it comes down to trust.
Yeah.
You have to trust the other and let the process happen.
Yeah.
And also, Manam was a big challenge for all of us, because somewhere halfway through the film we knew it was dad's father's last film. Because halfway through he was diagnosed with cancer, and we knew, because we knew the doctors had told us it's just months away, and the tremendous pressure we had not to complete the film, to gift him the last film as a super duper film.
And it's such a lovely film.
I had that. It was like a huge stone on my head.
But sir, when you are a superstar and you go through these kind of emotional lows in life, when you get to know, I was coming to that, you got to know, and it was your father's last film. How do you handle yourself in front of the public eye? Because you always have to look happy. That's how we've been taught, right? Like you have to look happy in front of people. And there's an internal issue going on within.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? And same with you, I want to ask you.
See, dad made it very easy. The day he was diagnosed and he went for a surgery and he came out, he held a press meet.
Yeah.
And he told all his people, all these people, I am diagnosed with this. I don't want anyone to be unhappy for me, sad for me. I don't want sympathy. I want everybody to smile. He went on a live press meet and told everybody. And even at home, once he called us and he said, I I knew somewhere he wanted his last days to be happy. And we all made sure. And actually, after he said that, there was a lot of relief, because I remember him calling my older brother, me and my sister. We were 3 siblings, and he said, I lived a complete life.
And what a life.
Yeah.
His legacy lives on. Yeah. I was just entering and I saw that banner which says ANR lives on, which is through all of you, and you know the entire after this your kids, everything. It will be that, and it's beautiful because he's loved, respected, and revered. Not just here, I feel everywhere. You know, world around. But losing your granddad, was it difficult? Because you were also not too young when it happened, thankfully.
Yeah, it was quite recent. It's not too far back.
7 years back.
Yeah, it's quite recent. So of course it was painful. But like Dad said, Granddad made it normal for us. Normal as in it was not out of the box or something. He spoke about it. It was he came, like Dad said, he came out and gave a press meet, which made us accept it better, and we enjoyed the moments with him more. The moments we had. So yeah, it was painful inside, but at the same time, that was the reality, and I just cherish all the moments I share with him.
Yeah, absolutely. What else? I'll ask you this question because there's a film that you did, Majli.
Yeah.
And then you did Love Story. Right. Both are films that have worked immensely for you as an actor.
Right.
People have suddenly opened up to the idea of you as an actor. Do you think there was a shift in you internally when you were doing these films? Because I feel that you are not somebody who runs after like a 500 crore or a 600 crore film. You actually run after delivering good performances at the same time being profitable for the people involved.
Yeah, absolutely. There was definitely a shift before Majli. I was doing films, we all take our time to find ourselves. For some people, it happens earlier, some people later. I'm not saying I've still found myself completely, but before that, I was doing films influenced by a lot of factors around me. Some people said do films for bigger collections. Some people said do films, massier characters, or some people said do films with fights, dances, whatever. But Majli and Love Story were from the heart, I didn't care about any factors or anything. I just said, let me go with a script that I completely, honestly connect with. And that's how those two films happened for me. And yeah, I guess maybe it reflects on the performance because there is a comfort inside, there is, you're in a space that you completely own. So yeah. I guess that's all.
So, in this movie, like you said, it's Casper the Friendly Ghost. The ghost is also very flirtatious. And so are you. Like, the grandson is also equally flirtatious from what I can see. In your prime, I have to ask, you have to be honest, huh? In your prime, how flirtatious were you? Did you flirt? Or were you a shy person?
What do you mean in your prime?
I think you are still in your prime. I think I stepped onto that one.
Yes,
you did.
How flirtatious are you in real life?
I am generally. I have no issue about it.
Which is nice. You own it up also. And I feel there's a sense of honesty about it also.
If I'm offending somebody, no. But I know I'm not offending.
No, you are not. You're not offensive at all. What about you?
Absolutely. I mean,
you don't seem like one.
Yeah, maybe I don't.
But are you?
It's healthy to compliment when it's deserved, or it's healthy to whatever the definition of being flirtatious is. I think it's healthy.
In the Telugu culture, it is very, very much accepted.
Yeah.
Also, they say the grandson and the grandfather are always the same. That is one of the things which we incorporate in the film. It is the Telugu culture, Tata Manodu. They're exactly the same. They say they're the same soul. Both of them.
So Tata Manoram, are you saying?
She's Manodu.
I'm the Manodu and Dad's the Tata.
But I'm saying in your real life, are you exactly like your granddad?
People say I look a lot like Dad, and some mannerisms are there, but
Yeah, you look a lot like him.
Yeah, but he's a if you
Granddad,
say
he
my
should
father. No, my father was very calm, very wise. No compulsive decisions.
Yeah.
And he used to think, thought, and his films also were very unlike mine. All his films are very, very deep meaning inside behind it, and he always had this thing about on all his films that he should not cross the line. In any roles he does, there should be that line.
Yeah.
And I think Chay has inherited that quality
Yeah.
in his films.
I agree.
Whereas for me, once my initial bug of acting was over, only thing I went after was entertainment.
Yeah,
Nothing
you
else.
played it to the gallery.
Yeah, just to the gallery. That's what I play. And once my initial bug during my Shiva, Gitanjali, all those days were over, then I said, this is not enough for me. I want to go into the gallery. And I keep doing that.
But
I
this
look for
brings
that.
you back to that space now where you've done films like this also, and you're playing to the gallery also, but in a very different way.
Yes, this is a different way. You know, whatever said and done with my age and all that, I have my limitations.
You are very young.
No, limitation in the film, in the limitation. This is the way I think. But in the film, when I'm playing a grandfather or anything, the roles I take up now, I can't play to the gallery which I played 20 years ago or 15 years ago. I have to look at it differently.
But you also let him play to the gallery.
He's played to the gallery.
Yeah.
Now.
In this, I like that
Yeah.
the stick thing that you
Those
had.
are all his mannerisms
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the first part
Yeah,
that
exactly.
I had to sort of adapt.
No, that's
in.
why you're saying that the grandfather and the grandson are always
Yes.
similar.
Yes.
Which is also something.
Yes.
So you releasing this film when a lot of other films are getting pushed. Was that ever a point of concern?
It is a point of concern, and rightly said, other people also took the right decision. In the sense that they need the whole world,
Yeah.
just not the Telugu states. And the world, the Western world is in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
Mumbai, 50%
Yeah.
going on, curfews happening.
Kolkata
Delhi,
also.
Kolkata, Delhi, this thing, that thing. I just designed this film only for the Telugu speaking people. Yes, I will miss the US and Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. Collections will come down because they're all under 50%. But I looked at this as an opportunity for the Telugu states.
Yeah.
Because my main 90% of my business is here. And we're still, in the Telugu states, we're still not reeling with the Omicron, this thing. And as you see, there are no...
Thank God. Touch wood.
this thing, spikes or this thing. And slowly somewhere it is coming down to saying that...
This will be the end.
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
this will be the end. That has come out now very clearly.
Yeah.
The hospitals are not getting rushed and the oxygen
Yeah.
is not being needed and people are not, on ventilators. Somewhere that's why the reports are saying by February end.
It should be over.
Over.
Yeah. But all the best for this one, and I hope that we get to see you both more in pan-India projects. And today, like you said, the lines are blurred. So I don't want to watch a film with a subtitle because I have an eye issue. But I hope that it gets made and it gets dubbed in different languages like you do. And I'm really, really looking forward to watching this in a dubbed Hindi, because I don't understand this language.
Right.
But it looks like a super fun film.
It's
Yes,
fun
it is.
film.
It is a super fun film.
But I hope to see you guys more often in Bombay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.